What is this about?
The Eye. I am the Eye.
Nothing.
Hello. Welcome back to Eternal Strands. We are going to do some serious conversations in this episode. Look at all of that, some serious story progress. Now, had a small break from playing the game because I wanted to finish off both Ironfall and South of Midnight. Now, let's just fully focus on Eternal Strands. I don't know how long we have left, honestly, but I think we're in Act 4 now, so I don't think it's really that far off. Act 4 should be the final act of this game. Now, probably there are some like good bang big bosses to go, but you know, we'll deal with them when they come. I'm gonna start off talking to Arya. Look at all of chatty tutorials. What's that? Ooh, so actually one thing that happened in this small break of recording. So yeah, basically I went on a break. Well, not on a break. I went on holiday. And yeah. I was good as well. I will explain more as we're talking here. But you know,
So, Arya.
it was good. But I didn't have time to record.
Council?
Their living history. What they've seen, what knowledge they must have preserved. All this time, they've been here, holding down the fort. It's great you've offered to help the axle and the spindle. Just be careful you're not going over the eye's head.
Yeah, the eye seems like the complete asshole here, right? That I remember very profoundly. Absolutely cannot be truly trusted. I try not to step on his toes, right? But point out someone should help. I'm calling you. Tell her the eye doesn't seem trustworthy. It's not my intention. Assure her I'll be careful. I think the best thing to do is to just do the last one here. Like, we're gonna keep going against the eye, but I will just tell to make sure reassure her that we'll be careful here. No,
I get it. I'll watch out.
she's the grizzled veteran that we all trust.
Not make enemies.
That's good to hear. He's led the Enclave during a crisis. The rules change. He knows more about the Surge, the Enclave, and arguably even magic. Because while we've been outcasts, he's been here, at the heart of our culture. It's something we need to respect.
I'll try.
Good.
Yeah, so the last time I recorded Eternal Strands was basically like a month ago. Because then I got sick, and then there was Easter, and I was away. I couldn't record or anything, and I had like 2 bouts of like sickness like straight after each other, and like I just couldn't move. It was like a weekend. I was like supposed to do like so much recording, and I couldn't do anything. I was gonna like do all the games. I was gonna do Ironfall, Side of Midnight, and Eternal Strands, just finish all of them up in that weekend. But basically, it ended up getting none of that done. So I've just been catching up. But yeah, now essentially, yeah, that's the short version. Now we're on track again. Let's talk about drowning. The drowning quest.
Hey, Arya. About Casman.
Yes.
I know. I'm worried too. So is the rest of the band. Let's talk at the archive, privately. I'll join you and Lane in a moment.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Can I continue talking to her about other things? Yes. So that's about So the Casman thing, that's about her like wanting a lot of things to help us, or basically asking us to get a lot of supplies for the camp, and more. You know.
What are you talking about?
Conversation.
You've got the shutters closed, even though it's practically bursting with supplies.
Just doing some reorganizing.
Yeah. So it's just quite stressed for various reasons, essentially. And I think it's getting to her, and now she's asking for too much. Like very unnecessary things because she wants to prepare for the war. So yeah, we need to find a way to get through to her. Burning curiosity.
Hey. You all right?
Yes. There's something I should have told you.
Ah.
So I'll just come out and say it. I was born in the Enclave.
How
Whoa.
is that possible?
Oh, luck or tragedy, depending on your perspective. Before I was born, my mother and father lived here happily for several years. But they decided it would be better if my mother raised me with my grandmother and great aunts for the first few months of my life. So she left with me when I was just a hatchling, with every intention to return.
But the surge happened.
The life I should have had was lost for good. Because of all this, I never knew my father. I don't even know his name.
So when did her mother die as well? She died very young too? And dig deeper, that's a bit extreme, isn't it? No. Oberon tend to have close-knit families. Ask about her mother's decision to leave.
Is it common
feel like
for
I'm already-
Oberon hatchlings to be raised apart from their fathers?
It's like,
No.
give me all the
It is common
details.
for extended family to be involved in the raising of children. As you know, I come from a long line of weavers, many of whom traveled in caravans their entire lives. It was apparently quite a shock when my mother fell for a hearthsider.
So your parents were looking for a compromise when it came to raising you?
Exactly. And I wouldn't trade my childhood on the road. My great aunts and my grandmother made me who I am, after all.
Still, you missed out on your father. It's
The father was a
natural to
house
wonder
trader.
about him.
I suppose.
Like our new friend. Dude, it's odd. Yeah, okay. I guess I'll just ask about anything.
Isn't it a little strange your mother never told you his name?
She was separated from him so suddenly. She had no chance to say goodbye. My mother is a strong woman, but whenever I asked about him as a child, she could only manage a few words before her face would crumble. She found it too painful to discuss, and I never wanted
Like
to
I'm
cry.
doing now.
But now?
I can't help but wish I knew who he was.
The Enclave always been significant to Aurea, okay? I wonder if it's because of her family.
Does your family have something to do with your attachment to the Enclave?
Being here has meant a lot in some ways, and in others, it's very different from what I expected. Meeting the Hearthsiders was a lifelong dream. But the circumstances
Imagine
of our
if like the
encounter,
eye is her dad or
not
something.
what I'd envisioned.
Knowing now that this is your birthplace, I can see why that would be disheartening.
This was meant to be my home, after all.
The news is a lot to take in. Ask why she didn't tell me sooner.
This is definitely...
Yeah, why didn't you tell me sooner?
I feel like you could have told me sooner.
I am sorry for that. You need to be able to trust me.
So why hide it?
Talking about difficult and private matters is not my strong suit. And frankly, I rarely see the point in dwelling on the past.
I guess you and your mother have that in common.
You might be right.
It's hard to talk about that, you know. Well, come on. I imagine she must be curious about her father's identity and offer to help.
We're going to find out who your father was.
You would help me?
Of course. Maybe Lane would have some ideas on where to start.
Actually, I had an idea myself. The spindle mentioned a statue of my mother.
I think we saw that, didn't we?
It's clear the Enclave commemorated their champions. I can't shake this feeling my father is among them.
You think there's a statue of your father?
I know it sounds strange, but the handful of times that my mother spoke of him, she described him as this great hero. Since she was one herself, is it so crazy to think she might have meant that literally?
Maybe not. I can scope out the statues in Upper Denevron for a resemblance, if that's what you want.
Good.
Good.
And
Good.
thank you.
Good. Very good. More things. Oh, talk first.
Aurea, I'm curious. Why the sudden interest in finding out more about your father?
He was trapped in the Enclave my entire life. This is the first chance I actually have to find out who he was.
Right. But I guess what I mean is...
Come on,
you
brain.
really never tried to find out more from your
Stop
mother.
crying.
I always had this sense that it wasn't something she could discuss. There was a heaviness in the air when his name came up.
Maybe she found out that he did something bad
And then she lost
as
him
well
in this
during the cataclysmic
cataclysmic
event.
that no one could have predicted.
That must have been unimaginably painful.
Yes. She wasn't a tragic figure, though. She carried it well. You'd never know she was in pain. And truthfully, I had such a good life with my mother and my grandmother. It wasn't like I felt he was missing.
Until now.
Until we arrived here, yes. Something about this place just makes it clear how much I've lost because of the surge.
Being here makes me wonder. If the surge hadn't happened, would I have been forced to leave home to become a weaver?
Most certainly not. You would have been a valued member of society, not an outcast. Did you have a good relationship with your mother?
I think I missed the last statement because of something happening here, but I think talking about Bryn's mother now, right? How are we gonna approach this? Let's see. So acceptance, speaking fondly, respect, and then worry about letting her down. Love, but not seeing eye to eye. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with the first one.
I probably take more after my dad than my mum, that's for sure. But I love her all the same.
She gave you a good life then.
Oh, the best. It was hard to leave it behind.
My mother and I had our ups and downs throughout my life too. As daughters get older, we understand our mothers better.
Any chance our mothers understand us better with age too?
She'll come around to the weaving, if that's what you're worried about. She loves you after all.
She does. I know that much.
Interesting. So I wonder how much that changes depending on what we put in terms of how we describe our mother. It's quite interesting. Abandoned Isle.
This is a little out of the ordinary, but the spindle gave me a key swatch. Or rather, she dropped off a letter with one enclosed on my desk in the camp. No one saw her come in or out.
Genius.
Why not just hand us the key swatch at Cassidy's hole?
Because of the eye.
According to her letter, what she's asking us to investigate is highly confidential.
So, chances she was authorized to give us this key swatch?
Very high, very high.
Slim.
Very high.
Where does it lead?
Starlight Cape. An island outpost that was abandoned following the surge. Strange sightings were reported from the mainland. However, the Hearthsiders couldn't afford to send scouts.
That's why the spindle thought of us.
We are notorious for probing arcane mysteries.
Never heard of Starlight Cape. Ask what Oreo knows about that.
So, what do we know about Starlight Cape?
Not much. It's a small island to the Enclave's northeast, just inside the Vale. It was fortified to watch the sea lanes, though not as heavily as Cassidy's. The rocky shore was a natural barrier to landing. Though I do recall the smith in my mother's band telling me that he'd never seen a clearer night sky than at Starlight Cape. These small islands rarely have much lamplight due to the fact that so few people live on them.
Huh.
Strange sightings. I wonder if the spindle clarified.
What kind of sightings are we talking about?
Apparently, the island's defining feature is an observatory at the top of its mountain. Over the years, several scouts had reported moving lights over the peak.
Oreo mentioned the island was abandoned. Wonder why.
Why was Starlight Cape abandoned?
Winds are always stronger on the coast, and the dramatic weather following the surge made the island inhospitable. Its military personnel were redeployed as civilian relief. And though at one time a bridge connected the island to the mainland, it was destroyed in the earthquakes.
So it's only accessible by Loomgate.
I've heard enough.
Happy to
Move
check it
on.
out.
Good. Here's the key swatch.
So guess what is to use the Loomgate. Caswin has something to say. Caswin, I keep saying Caswin, don't I? I have called myself out on that multiple times as well.
I don't want to talk about the scales anymore, but...
Yeah, one of you want some more
the
scales?
Outsiders look more traumatized than a beast of burden after a hurricane.
What? Why would you say that?
I would think someone who grew up in the wake of war would recognize the signs. Disorganized,
Look,
unable
she
to
looks
triage their own problems. They're overwhelmed.
You see how tired she looks, right?
Suspicious of us
Right?
despite our clear
Looks right,
good
right?
intentions,
No.
suggesting paranoia. And while their leader
Paranoia.
is in deep denial of the very real
Ooh.
crisis the Enclave is in, the others accept it. They've been stewing in turmoil for so long, it's become their new normal. And it's probably more comfortable for them than the prospect of change.
You're right. They do remind me of some veterans back in Carnhaven.
Saw it 1,000 times over while working in Udea. Aurea may not want to hear it, but these people are completely lost in their crisis.
She's having her own little
I spoke
crisis,
to Aurea
you know?
earlier. She certainly does want to give the Eye the benefit of the doubt. I'm not so sure it's warranted.
Aurea has a case of hero worship when it comes to the Enclave. She can be blinded by it sometimes.
Huh.
It's not to say great things didn't happen here. But at the end of the day, the Hearthsiders aren't gods. They're fallible. Just like us.
Alright, Casmin. She looks so sad now.
Yes. You know you can talk to us about what's going on, right?
Nothing's going on. I'm fine, I promise.
You don't seem fine, though.
It's just, no one seems to understand how important the Ashpeak Drake skills are, and bad things are going to happen if we don't... You know what? I just can't talk about this right now. I'm sorry.
She looks so sad. Look at her. Oh. You know what she should do? She should do this. Bam! Jasmine, do this. Oh, she looked that way. What am I supposed to do? Oh. Codex compiling progress, Ark of Gods! Arch. Sprawling across the southern skies are 1,000 stars. Each of these in its own way is a god, hero, or deity that represents something remarkable to the peoples of the High Kingdom of Tazza. Together, they are known as the Arch of Gods, a literal constellation of mythologies woven together by cultural exchange. They represent not only religious beliefs, but solutions to practical concerns such as navigation across the Sandsea. Take, for example, Rebus, the hero of the Sirocco winds. Venerated by travelers hailing from across the Sandsea, he is said to have ended a 1,000-year drought, using his mighty cloak to shelter ocean rainstorms on their way to bring fleeting life to the dunes. Offerings to him are customary for those wishing to survive the desert. And during my own tour of Tassa, I saw a shrine for him at many way stations. Another whose story I am fond of is that of Aketil, a river deity whose adherents hail from the northern Tassan Mountains. The river system she is associated with runs south from peaks into the desert. Her lover, a twin river deity, represents a river system on the opposite side of the mountains that runs its way to the ocean. Their yearning for another is symbolized by a unique and rare occurrence on this section of the mountain range where the competing ocean and desert winds blow strong enough to reverse the direction of certain waterfalls. It is said that when waterfalls flow into the sky and join the two rivers, the lovers are reunited, if only briefly. Oh my god. Collect Ark of the Wintertide. We did that one. While we remain unsure of the exact failure that caused the Ark to behave so erratically, it's obvious the heightened levels of raw magic in the Veiled Enclave must have had some impact, resulting in their enchantments merging into distinct strands. The Ark of the Wintertide is doubly enigma, as few of them were ever seen by non-Hearthriders. The mere fact of their existence was uncertain until our point encountered one. What we now understand is that they acted as a counterpoint to the Arks of the Forge, providing the ability to rapidly quench metals or other materials. The capability was essential in manufacturing the extremely hard metals used for both armoring arcs and reinforcing the Enclave's ambitious engineering projects. Aurea observed the flow of magic closely during the Arpoin's first defeat of the Ark of Wintertide and surmised that the flare of his locus was in his lower arm. But hidden deep under the ice after consultation with Dom, our agreed theory is that to expose the Strands fully, Arpoint would need to force the Ark of the Wintertide into something of a crisis. Practically speaking, that means shattering those massive armored ice chunks off his body until none remain. We did that in the end. Oof, that was a struggle. If the Ark is completely unarmored, it will focus on regrowing those larger plates of ice first. A purely instinctual and thus understandable reaction. One surmised is not dissimilar to the common nightmares of arriving for one's debut ball wearing nothing but unfashionable undergarments. As such, our band's working theory proceeds thus. Destroy the armor plates first, as they take longer to reform, then shatter the claws, since the rapid regrowth will be slowed by the barring of the Ark's nether regions. After this, the locust should be visible, enabling a successful harvest. Very good. What do you got to say, Lane?
Bryn, I have to say, I'm a little
concerned about me?
Me?
Why?
I don't think you know what you're getting yourself into with the Enclave.
I don't know.
You're not just helping them. You're diving headfirst into their political affairs.
Back into politics.
Lane, if I can fight an Archon 10 times my size, I can handle a little bureaucracy.
That's exactly my point. I was raised in the midst of political schemes and intrigue. There's always something unsaid or underhanded at play beneath the surface. Just be careful. That's all.
I appreciate your concern, Lane.
You won't find Aurea's father running amid statues, you know.
What do you mean?
You know what's most likely to get in the way of tracking down one's lineage? Family. A scholar wants to trace a family line to find connections between key historical figures? No problem. A living relative wants to find their great-grandfather using some oh-so-precious family heirloom? What a headache.
Why?
A scholar is objective. They have no emotional attachment to the family line, no sense of self wrapped up in the results of their study.
And you're saying Aurea does?
I'm saying she needs to expand her search beyond Weaver heroes. She's not searching for family there, she's seeking identity.
Whoa.
And without objectivity, her search will turn up nothing.
That makes a lot of sense. Wonder if it could cause issues in Aurea's search. Families and what defines us. Tell them it's possible Aurea is only looking for answer. That seems cold. Tell Lane emotional attachment aren't a bad thing. I think it makes sense. You know, if you're looking for something that isn't there, maybe she gets over-attached to one specific part of what her mother said about her father. Be a great hero in a rebellion rather than a great hero of the Enclave, you know, other things too, you know.
Aurea did jump
We're
into
gonna go with
this
that.
preconceived ideas about who her father is. I can see how that might cause problems.
It most certainly will if she doesn't come around to the idea that her father may not live up to her expectations.
I'll keep that in mind.
Food for thought, at least.
More to say.
One of the greatest tragedies of the Surge is the loss of stories. The Enclave might not be that old, but with so many dead to the Surge-born, their memories most certainly died with them.
I can understand that.
Oh?
My parents' generation tend to stay quiet around the fire. Whatever stories Khanhanders had were beaten out of us by public lashings and prison camps. And we haven't had time since independence to start telling new ones.
Jesus.
Oh, yes. Bryn of Carnhaven. I almost forgot.
Wait, like what Dom called me? You were listening?
I always am. Habit-born of a Udean upbringing, I suppose. But, yes. I suppose the similarities are there, aren't they? A population whittled down by catastrophe. Stories lost. Did you ever have the urge to press a little harder? To try and learn just one or two stories? Even if it was painful for the person telling them?
Living stories is where my priorities lie. Tell Lane I prefer to look forward. I regret not pushing harder to talk about the quiet moments. This is really tough, I think. Because I think a lot of people want to move forward and not look back. But she's also saying that the stories were beaten out of them. And they might have been good stories, you know. So trying to remember the good is not a bad thing, you know. Because you can take that and bring that forward as well. And I think talking to Lane as well, just considering that, and she's just, because they're more of a scholar, you know. So I'm gonna say, talk about the quiet moments and regret not pushing harder.
I would have liked to. It was hard, though. I learned more about our folklore through silence than through words. I was born after the fighting ended, but we still hadn't fully rebuilt by the time I left home. I found a couple of skeletons as a kid.
Jesus.
Out on the steppe. People who'd died fighting the war, exposed by the wind and the rain. There's a story behind those bones that will never be told.
I can only imagine how hard it must be to adapt to the new normal of no longer being under an empire's yoke. Even more so when you fought so hard to gain that independence. If we ever travel back to Carnhaven, I'll try and record some stories, with your help, if you'd like.
Oh,
Sorry, is that too presumptuous of me?
I think that's nice.
No, of course not. You never know where the Weaver life might take us.
It's a date, then.
Yay!
So, we've spoken about stories. The kinds that are lost to time or war. But what about those stories that are yet
We're
to
gonna
be
talk
told?
about the
What is the
current as
story
well.
of Bryn,
The
Slayer of
the
mighty
present.
beasts, point of Oria Silverbeak's legendary Weaver band.
I suppose that's me in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yes, but what else? I can't help but wonder whether there will be anyone else who's indelibly part of your story.
I'd need to have someone around to champion my exploits. Can't just hand out copies of my journal, can I?
Goodness, if only there was someone around who could shout your praises from the rooftops.
You never know. They could be right around the corner.
We shall have to keep an eye out.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are we flirting with Lane? Okay. Okay.
It's safe to say Casmin hasn't been acting like herself. She's always been tightly wound, but this is something else.
Bryn, she seems more open with you than most. Can you describe in detail what's abnormal about her behavior?
She's begging me for more supplies, even though the caravan is chock full.
Not that we could tell, because she's covered it up.
More than that, she just seems distressed. She's always talking about worst-case scenarios, and lately it's like she's convinced we're all going to die.
I have heard rumors of abnormal behavior developing in Kashar that could be linked to this.
What kind of rumors?
In polytheistic beliefs that are pervasive in the southern part of the Maida, there is an affliction known as Ira's Plague. The sufferer is haunted by twisted visions of death and pain. The goddess of justice, Ira, won't allow the sufferer inner peace until they repent through scrupulosity.
Huh. Yeah, I think I need to know what scrupulosity is.
Scrupulosity? What is that exactly?
Oh, my apologies. I forget most people don't follow UD's scrupulosity study. Scrupulosity can be best described as a series of repetitive acts that one is compelled to do. For example, if Casmin is plagued by relentless images of our band dying from exposure,
She might send our point out over and over again to retrieve supplies.
yes, in order to dispel the horrific visions.
And it seems pretty logical. Ask if they suggesting Casmin is cursed. I didn't know Casmin was religious. I wonder if that's why she's hiding things from us. Last mentioned rumors about Kasha earlier. Asked him to elaborate. Okay, let's talk about Kashar first.
What does Era's plague have to do with them?
While most see Kashar as a celebrated merging of the two cultures, some fringe sects disagree. They believe the wider lineage simply leads to more ancestral sin that
Bruh.
must be atoned, and thus only Kashar can be afflicted.
Really? Where do you land?
The concept of impure lineage is clearly hogwash, but I suspect the affliction could somehow correlate to the Kashar's unique physiology.
I didn't know Casmin was religious. I didn't see that as well, but you know, Elaine is pretty logical, so they're suggesting Casmin is cursed. I'll do the religious first, I guess.
didn't realize Casmin was
Because
spiritual.
this doesn't seem like a
Is she
spiritual
really trying to hide these visions from us?
thing. It's more like a curse, right? I don't know.
Not devout herself, Casmin grew
Okay.
up with a strict Ashar mother.
You're right, she did.
It's possible Casmin's affliction was a point of shame or contention between them.
She's always had it in
She
that sense.
fears rejection if she shares her experience with us.
And if logical, I'll ask if they are suggesting Casmin is cursed.
Are you seriously suggesting Casmin is... what? Possessed?
Of course not. I'm confident that this is merely a stigmatized phenomenon that could not be explained through facts or science. So the populace explained it through religious folly instead.
Any ideas what facts could explain it?
Oh, no, Elaine.
Yet.
We need science here, Elaine. Give me some science. Affliction or not, we need to help Cass.
All right. Casmin is suffering. We need to do something about it.
And preemptively? No exorcisms?
As I said, this is likely nothing more than a condition that has been stigmatized by religion. A scientific explanation must exist, and thankfully, we are in the heart of progressive thinking.
You think the Enclave could have done research on this?
Makes sense. Where should I start looking?
The steps in the upper city is where I'd start. Between the main building of the spire and the atrium used to stand a school for alchemists. From your explorations, the surge hit that area pretty hard, but some of the building may still be standing.
Great. What am I looking for?
Maybe the name of someone who suffered like Casmin, or a healer who treated the condition. If you find someone like that, you'll want to search the areas of the city where they spent time. Ira's plague is wildly misunderstood across the Maida. If we could find a treatment, it could help more than Casmin.
You're right. I'll start with the steps, then expand my search.
Let's go.
When's the last time anyone saw her sleep?
It's been weeks.
Is that normal for a Kashar?
No.
I know, I guess.
It might sound callous, but I'm a little disappointed in the Hearthsiders.
Ooh.
They're in worse shape than any of us expected.
They've done so little to repair the wonders that surround them. How can a society once renowned for its genius become so far removed from their own innovations? It makes me question if they were ever as great as we all believe they were, or if it was just...
Some myth to keep Weavers going after the surge.
Exactly. Something for us to believe in, whether or not it was true.
The truth is probably complicated. Telling me you don't think it's a matter of fact versus fiction, it doesn't mean the promise of the Enclave isn't real. Telling me you have hope. He has a point. I think the truth is complicated. We're gonna go with that.
There is probably a mix of truth and legend in our stories of the Enclave. Nothing's black and white. Isn't that always the case in history?
Yes, I suppose this could have been expected, but it's rare we have a chance to confront history in person like this. I'm just not sure what to think anymore.
With Strand. Hell yeah. This is from the Winter Tide arc. Winter's Gauntlet. And anyway, buddy. An icy pseudo-protective armor, highly resistant to dangerous temperatures and volatile enough to explode in a cloud of razor-sharp ice shards. Good damn. I'll talk to the boy over there last.
So, what were you speaking to the eye about?
Nothing. I just...
Sebastian!
I don't want to talk about it.
Seb!
I didn't mean to pry. I just wanted to make sure you're okay.
You want to know if I'm okay?
I think our little brain is a little
Yes?
prior.
Then how come no one is at all concerned with the fact we can't leave? This isn't my life. Traveling with a Weaver band was supposed to be temporary.
Seb!
For me, at least. There are things I should get back to in Tarza. And it's increasingly clear no one has any idea when I will. If ever. So no. I'm not okay.
Hey,
I'm so sorry.
thank you for telling me.
I had no idea you were feeling this way. You're right.
I am?
The truth is, we don't know how or when we're getting out of here. But if you want to leave, we should have made that more of a priority. Or at least made you feel more heard. So we'll work on it. Promise.
Really?
What's the
What's the
catch?
catch?
What?
No catch. Apprentice or full-time weaver. What's important to you is important to all of us.
I don't know what to say.
Is he blushing?
But
No thanks. So la. Talk.
That wasn't exactly the warmest welcome. I'm guessing the
Talk.
Enclave Council isn't your biggest fan right now.
I'll win over most of them. I've got charisma, boast that you can bounce back from this rocky start. They view us as a problem, share your concerns with her. Yeah.
What's not to like? So I let some nasty creatures loose. There's no bad impression my charms can't overcome.
And if they fail you now, there's a first for
Hell
everyone.
yeah.
Then I'll roundhouse kick those Surgeborn back to the underworks.
I'm not gonna do that
Whatever
though.
the Council thinks of you, I'm glad you're trying to help them. I think they could really use it.
Yeah. They don't seem to be in great shape.
Nothing our daring point can't fix.
Of course not. Wood for the trees.
And then, Sev and I realized we might be able to repurpose the carapace for more than just loom gates.
Uh-huh.
Purely theoretical right now, but I'm contemplating tangle-resistant gear, or even a protective layer around the caravan.
Dom, I'm a little busy trying to look over these Tarmakine schematics again. Do you mind coming back later?
Oh, okay. You're right. We can discuss theoretical magic anytime. I'll leave you to your work.
Oh. Hey, Bryn.
Everything all right? Things between you and Dom seem off lately.
Yeah, a bit. I'm not sure he understands what my work on the Tarmakine smithing techniques means to me.
Have you told him how you're feeling?
It feels like he's so wrapped up in his own discoveries that he's not hearing me.
He is easily distracted, but maybe you should try again. If there's one thing I know about Dom, it's that he loves you. He must care about your feelings.
Then why isn't he asking about them? Sorry, this isn't on you. I'm just frustrated. I need to do more than just tell him what Tarmakind means to me.
How so?
I need to show him. By investigating Tarmakind practices, maybe I can make some headway on restoring these techniques. Then he'll understand.
Hey, I'm always down to investigate lost knowledge. Especially in the name of
In the
love.
name of
You'll help
love.
me?
Of course.
Amazing. I'll ask the Axel if she knows anything about Tarmakind smithing in the Enclave.
Great idea. I'll meet you at Cassidon's Hold.
What? Okay, talk to Aricum. chill talking first.
Making
Casual.
yourself at home?
Yes. I've always wanted my own ruined fountain.
Hell yeah.
I don't want to presume, but being here is a nice break from all the politics.
And the eye is okay with that?
I convinced him I would be keeping an eye on you. Frankly, I think he's just glad to be rid of me. I ask the kind of questions that make him uncomfortable. You know, tough ones like, how? And
Why? Why?
exactly?
Lucky for you, Aurea loves when people ask those questions. Welcome to the camp, Eric. We're glad to have you, and your insight on the Hearthsiders.
You still call us that?
Yeah, but it's more bitter these days. Surge and all. Maybe together we can fix that.
Let's.
Infestation.
How are you settling in, Eric? Things going well?
Good. Yeah, they're fine.
Just good?
No, not really. Something's going on at the hold, and it's making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. The Eye publicly scorched you for opening up Asylum, and yet I've heard him telling the Spindle that this could be a good thing. Meanwhile, the runners are
What?
stretched paper thin, keeping supplies moving. Which, of course, leaves my people no time to deal with actual threats.
Sounds like you could use some help. What's the problem?
Really? Oh, dancing winds, where to start? No, wait, I know. The Spitfires. A particularly aggressive group seems set on spreading through Denevron. In particular, they're building nests in some areas I was hoping to use as training grounds, but we had to pull out due to the risk.
Would the areas be safe if I took care of the nests?
Yes, though the nests are very durable. They will turn brittle
Freeze
if you
them.
get them cold enough.
Consider it done. Anything else?
Maybe an odd request. Could you ask Aurea if I could power the scry while you're tackling them?
Why not ask her yourself?
I feel like I have a lot to learn from Aurea and how she works with you. And it's strangely intimidating to admit that to her directly.
She is a force of nature. I get it. I'll ask.
Can you, boy? How do you get you to work? Oh, this is a talk. I want to talk.
Thanks again for offering to talk to Aurea for me. It's genuinely exciting to learn from someone new for once. Our community's pretty insular.
Yeah, where is? Let me see. Okay. I think we're good on everything else. Just talking to Aurea, after talking to Eric.
Hi, Aurea. I am here on behalf of Arakim.
That's weirdly formal. Everything all right?
He finds you intimidating. Personally, I don't see it, but I thought I'd be extra polite for his sake.
He does. Good. What does he want?
He's wondering if he could power the scry while I run an errand for him. He's hoping you'll give him tips.
Happily. But feel free to tell him I was a bit scary, to keep him on his toes.
Okay.
Seriously, you look exhausted. When's the last time you
I'm
slept?
talking to Jasmine again. That's definitely a top priority to look into. I want to do that after talking to everyone.
Good news.
I should play this straight. Tell him Aurea was happy to do it. I would guess he loves a challenge. Play up scary Aurea. He needs to understand we collaborate. Explain the situation to him. Play up scary Aurea.
It was tough going, but I managed to convince Madame Silverbeak to take you under her wing.
Madame Silverbeak. Wins. I'll wear my good socks. I've coordinated lots of operations from Cassidon's hold, but I never had much formal training. More self-taught. A chance to learn from someone with decades of experience is an incredible opportunity. I'll be there with you then, when you get close to the nests. They're in the Bastion's yard and Envoy's Landing in Upper Denevron.
Lovely. I'll tease him a little bit. Gotta get to Cassidon Hall, I think, briefly, you know. I think there are some... Oh, Starlight Cave, yeah, this is where we need to go to. Oh my god. Cassidon Hall, I think there is more strategy things to do here as well. Bam. I like this transition so much. Wonderful. Spindle, a loose thread.
A resonance, freshly pulled from an ark's pattern, as requested.
By the flames! You can't be serious! This is incredible!
You know, great archons weren't built with patterns. They formed. This will propel my research faster than...
What is this about?
The eye. I am the eye.
Nothing.
Is that
I see with my
Then
eye.
why is this road
See many
only
things.
harvesting archons for you?
Spindle is doing important work. Stand up for her. I'm clearly touched a nerve. Take the blame. The eye. What do we do? I'm going to reason with him.
This is just healthy collaboration between our people. What's wrong with that?
What's wrong is that you're pursuing a project that I have given my daughter expressed orders not to pursue.
Daughter?
Oh boy.
The reason you didn't want me studying active arcs was because it was too dangerous to harvest one. But Bryn offered to do it for me. None of our people were put at risk.
The reason I didn't want you researching arcs is because I ordered you not to. Not as your father, but as the leader of the Enclave. This insolence and disrespect will not be tolerated. You will drop this obsession at once, Isla. For good.
Hey, are you...
I can't be seen speaking to you about this subject anymore. I'm sorry,
But...
I need to get back to work.
No. You need to find out how to continue this. A question of loyalty. A new quest, okay.
I really can't discuss the arcs with you. Not here.
Don't worry. I understand. I just didn't realize that Khan Staneld is your father.
Admittedly, I wasn't the most forthcoming about
For
that.
good reason, maybe. It's only a matter of time till I find out. Ask why she kept it a secret. Seems like the eye has the temper, only if she's okay. The arcs are her passion. That's what he has against them. This Bryn price. This Bryn price brings a prior, okay? It is what it is.
Everyone knows. That's kind of the problem. My father has been in power a long time. And obviously, being his daughter has come with its privileges. But I can't ignore the whispers that I haven't truly earned my role. And at times, I worry they're right.
So, when you had the opportunity to work with us on your own terms...
I took it. I'm sorry. This probably looks bad.
Seems like the eye has a temper. I wonder if she's
You're
okay.
right after that argument.
He's been on edge lately.
Since our band arrived.
That didn't help, but our relationship hasn't been great since I became the Spindle. At first, he was thrilled when I was elected, but... You're just not seeing him at his best right now. Please, don't judge him too harshly.
I'll try not to. But you didn't answer my question. Are you alright?
I'm fine.
She didn't just say, I'm fine. No! No! The arcs are her passion. Not his, I wonder what his best looks like.
You said he's not at his best. What does a good day look like for him?
I know it's hard to see it, but he is an amazing father. My childhood was wonderful. Growing up in Cassidon's Hold wasn't easy.
Very interesting.
But he made it fun. No matter how intense his job became, he made time for me. Playing dress up, reading to me before bed, or, as I got older, teaching me the basics of weaving and enchanting. He was my best friend and confidant. I could always tell him anything.
Do you still tell him everything, even now?
A lot has changed. But I have to believe he's still the same father I grew up with.
Oh. You also heard passion, that's what he has against
I
it.
know we're not supposed to talk about the A word. But they're your passion. Why is your father so against you pursuing your research?
He says they're dangerous.
Right. But so are a lot of things in the Enclave.
I never knew my mother. I was born just before the retreat to Cassidon's Hold.
Oh
When
damn.
my research touched a nerve, he finally told me that she had died in an arc attack on the upper city. He wants me to steer clear of them, but he just doesn't see their potential. Yet.
No matter who her daddy's parents don't define her.
Just
Move
when
on.
it comes to our
Oh no.
we believe
So high.
that our contributions are what
Yes,
defines us.
yes, but that sounds very harsh.
That's comforting. For what it's worth, I did enjoy working with you.
But that's in the past. I should get back to my duties.
I'll find a way. The actual interdiction.
If you're interrupting my petition reading time, I hope you're bringing me some good news.
Nothing but. The way's clear for the scouts to start retrieving those supplies.
Anything to add, Arakim?
I'm shaken to my core by the revelation that one can achieve things without forms signed in triplicate.
Interesting. I won't argue with success, especially when it keeps our people going. Bryn, since you've proven yourself useful, I've
This is
considered
the
ways
dealing
in
with
which
the
you can
hives
assist
where
us
the
further.
winter arc is.
We'll
No?
need Isla's help for this next step, though.
Oh, we're all on a first-name basis with her, are we?
I should hope so, yes.
I was trying to help her, but it didn't go as planned. She's not really speaking to me right now.
That doesn't sound like Isla. But regardless, we will need her on side for this project. Just give her a little time. She might come around.
Sure she
We'll
would.
see.
Until she does, there isn't much we can do with my plans.
It'll be alright. Talky talk.
2 crates of mantle supplies, 4 sets of Calm steel bearings, 3 sealed vats of darter grease.
Sounds like a wild party you're preparing for.
Not really my scene, Bryn. Do you need something?
I wanted to pick your brains some more, if you've got time.
If I stare at this inventory list for a second longer, I may succumb to madness. Ask away.
Is it tough right now? Ask about her aspirations for the future. Enchanters and crafters don't always work well together. Ask about her relationship with the spindle.
How's your relationship with the spindle?
Isla, it's fine. We have a good relationship, I think.
Do you enjoy working with her?
That is irrelevant to the demands of my work, but yes, she is kind and thoughtful and willing to compromise, despite everything.
Everything?
Well, you've met her father. Now imagine if he was your direct superior.
This would be after finding out
Say no
that
more.
he's her father. Yeah, okay. Things are tough right now. Ask about her aspirations for the future.
Have you thought about what you might do once the Surgeborn are under control?
That's a big assumption. I don't know how things are outside of the Enclave, but in here, we live every day knowing we may not see the next. Doubly so now. Hope for the future is a luxury. We are thin on luxuries here.
Sure. But you have to start planning for the future someday. Would you ever consider running for the Eye's seat?
I would not presume to challenge him for it, even if an election presented the opportunity. If he tripped over his own feet and fell into the ocean, thereby vacating the position.
If he's
that would
gone,
be another
okay.
matter entirely.
Just being a way pressure further on that thing about the eye.
So I take it that you're not happy with how the eye is running things.
It is not my place to question his decisions. He sealed the Surgeborn away, saving us from annihilation.
But he doesn't seem to be happy with you. And you clearly disagree with him on some things. Wouldn't you be a better leader than him?
We have different opinions, but that doesn't mean I aspire to hold his seat. I'm focused on serving the people I represent. That's all.
You clearly got a lot of work to do. Wrap it up.
Well, thanks. Hope I didn't take up too much of your time. There's just so much to learn here.
It's fine. You're refreshingly nosy. Look at me, sounding like Arakim. Perhaps we did need a breath of fresh air in here.
Wood for the trees.
Bryn, you brought your talented smith. To what do I owe the pleasure?
I was wondering if you might have any information on Tarmakind smithing practices within the Enclave.
I'm not well versed in Tarmakind myself, but I recall one smith who hoped to make the techniques more widespread prior to the Surge. You could try searching the Guild district in Hydenevron for a registry.
Sola is actually hoping to restore the lost art herself. Anything else I could look for that might help her?
The Smithing Guild also had an extensive library. You might find a tome on Tarmakind that could be useful while you're there.
Thank you so much.
I admire your ambition. What you're hoping to achieve is no small feat.
If anyone can do it, it's Sola.
I don't know about that.
I can believe it. Good luck in your endeavors.
Let's see. I return to base camp to see how Sev is faring. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Inspect.
Need I remind you that your access to Cassidon's hold is restricted?
Oh. I didn't mean to intrude.
You would do well to mind yourself, newcomer, or risk losing the privilege of coming to Cassidon's hold entirely.
I'm refreshingly nosy, though.
Arakim, we will be having a discussion to clarify the meaning of no-contact protocol.
Of course, Khan Stanhild.
Okay.
Oria's father is unlikely to be a Kasil woman. Besides, when it comes to nurturing parental figures, Ramanos's shrewd eye for politics isn't what comes to mind.
Okay, so I can check out this for her. Okay. I didn't see that coming already. I thought I would have to go to the Upper Denevron or something.
I hear you've been
like next to her mother's
supply
statue.
caches in the underworks.
Not exactly. I've just been clearing the way for the scouts, as per the Axel's request. She says you've been short on supplies for quite some time.
Then there's no problem at all. Assuming you're telling the truth, that is.
No reason to lie. My band's work with the Axel benefits all of us. She gives us knowledge, and we help out everywhere we can. Win-win.
In time, your true intentions will reveal themselves. And first impressions have not served you well.
I mean, he could have responded a lot worse to that. Okay, let's quickly check on Sev then. We've got even more things to do. Oh, hello. Ham of activity. Okay, sorted. Voice is echoing, support start working. Okay. Let's go back to Southwall.
Bryn?
Yo.
Everything okay?
Oh, yes. Welcome back. It's good to see you safe. Could we talk when you have a moment?
Of course.
Yeah. Consult with Sola about Seb. Okay, that way around it. I'll do Arakim first then.
Something's been bothering me about the loom gates.
You're going to ask how I got to your camp without connecting you to Cassidon's?
Yes. I've been reconnecting all the gates as I discover them.
We developed a way to move through the gates without a permanent connection. When Asylum activated, it severed every loom gate, cut off the Surgeborn, which gave us a huge edge. But the scouts needed to move around without opening paths for them. So, the High Enchanter did their thing.
Is that why the hold's still cut off from the other gates?
It took a lot to convince the Council to even allow a connection here.
Okay.
Eric, you don't think you could have mentioned that the Spindle is the Eye's daughter?
That's her business to share.
Yes, but it would have been nice to know I was helping his daughter rebel against him.
Instead of helping his unrelated colleague undermine him.
Mean. But fair.
Your intervention definitely had an impact, though. A number of enchanters immediately started pushing for more. More expeditions, more studies of the Surgeborn, you name it. That's the kind of pressure the Eye was hoping to avoid. But I think him blowing up was a misstep. If I had to guess, that Axel started the rumors.
Do you think that's what Isla wanted?
No. She just wants to keep her head down and not have people focus on the I-father thing. And frankly, I get it. If Khan Stanold were my dad, I'd take it to the
Okay, but if I'm walking into any more deadfalls, a heads up would be nice.
I promise. Unless it's someone's private business.
Stop being respectful, Eric. Okay.
My teams have started to deploy with the recovered gear from the Institute. Like a pebble starting a rock slide. Each team's able to clear more, recover more, and with that gear, we send more teams. Only downside is that the Eye's got us on a priority hunt for some really esoteric resources. True to form, he won't tell us why. Just, you'll be informed of the purpose when the time is correct, Eric.
Not that I prioritize the people. No, we're just gonna say, yeah, prioritize the people, not the I must have some purpose. Ask Eric to share. I mean, Eric will share, I think, unless it's a private thing. So prioritize the people.
Your teams were wearing their gear thin. Outfitting them seems more important.
It's bigger than that. There's infrastructure breaking down all around the hold. If the people can't eat, soon enough there won't be anything left to defend. Not that the Eye will care. He'll make sure he has a full plate to the end. Regardless, we'll do the best we can. And thanks to you, we've got a fighting chance now.
Of course, thanks to me, obviously. So many things to say, Eric.
Bryn, have I ever told you...
Oh my god, everyone is flirting with me.
Thanks. What brought that on?
Oria told me the story about you joining the band. Sounds like your last one was awful, but you stuck with it.
In comparison, joining Oria's group was like that first nice day after a brutal winter.
That's probably more relatable if I grew up in a mountain pass, huh?
No feeling like it. Temperatures that would have felt awful in autumn feel like a summer's day. And there's this endless, soft, watery trickle of everything melting.
Sounds incredible. Think you'll go back?
I'd miss my parents if I never went back, told him so. Probably, but I'm not in a rush to. I'm excited about the outfit. I miss my parents.
I have to. My mum and I did not part on the best terms. And while we've made up in letters, I owe her the biggest hug. And I want my dad to see how far I've come. Don't think he expected me to take up the sword, but he's always been supportive.
Maybe I could tag along. I feel like I've been denied something being literally stuck in here.
It's important to remind you of that. I could totally see myself traveling with Eric, tell him he's invited. Of course you do.
Deal. I might have to take leave from the band to do it, and travel's always safer with two. And while it's not always better with two, I feel like you and I could have a great time on the road together.
Oh my god.
We could get up to hijinks. Maybe even
shenanigans.
Now we have to do it.
For sure.
When we first met at the harness, you were very brusque. all of you, and so on. How come?
Snap decision. I was there to warn you, and suddenly my earpiece activated. Someone was watching me on the scry.
You think it was the Eye?
I do. He'd made some comments about previous off-the-books expeditions I'd done, such as the one where I slipped your band a warning about the flood. So, I kept up the front as best I could.
Do you need to sneak around him a lot?
To get things done, I often have to cut through all the rules and limitations. For example, your help is making things happen. The Eye's planning something, but no one's telling me what. I'm not sure the Spindle or the Axle even know. I'd guess we're all going to be handed orders and expected to deliver on a moment's notice. The Eye always claims he's protecting the people by sharing on a need-to-know basis. What do you make of it?
Ooh, I'm not one for secrets. Tell him I try to be transparent, situational, but I think some things shouldn't be shared. Explain that to him. He did say that he wouldn't share private things, but this is not that, right? So, so for him, I would say I'm not one for secrets. Tell him I try to be transparent.
Everyone works better when we're aware of the challenges ahead. I couldn't do what I do if Darm refused to tell me how my mantle works, for instance.
No limits then? Just share everything we know.
If possible, yes. Use a loss of magic as an example. Not limitless, not that erring on the side of openness is ideal. I don't mind sharing.
Ideally, if more Weavers had shared what they knew before the Surge, we wouldn't have been set back by decades.
And some of you might have been able to make it past the Veil sooner if you'd had any idea how it worked. You've given me a lot to think about. I should get back to looking over these reports, though.
Unraveled. Quest progress.
Sounds like your work with Isla was a smash success.
Not exactly. She seems less willing to talk to us than ever.
Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure of that. She sent me here with a secret message.
Oh, hell yeah.
She did?
Another arc.
What about?
A clandestine meeting. If I didn't know any better, I'd think there was something between you two.
You?
What clandestine meeting?
Missing with the daughter of the Eye.
Archon's hearth. It needs to be at night, though. She'll sneak away from Cassidon's hold to guide you on the scry here. She wants you to collect Archon parts that may be hard to spot without her help.
Very good work. I haven't been to Archon's here. I haven't?
I don't think I've been to the Archon's hearth yet.
Thought I went there.
Where is it exactly?
You've been pretty close to it.
I have?
Wow. You've forgotten our introduction so fast.
I take it that's where the cavern near the harness leads.
Correct.
So what is it exactly?
The Archon's hearth is where all arcs were created. We lost control of it almost immediately after the Surgeborn appeared. Not that we had much use for it. The Surge hit it hard, and most of the Weavers who knew how to build arcs died as a result. But all the materials to build arcs are still there. Hence, the Spindle wants you to go.
Sounds Ayla is sending me on a scavenger hunt. That's what she's looking for. I was furious, wondering if Ayla could get into a lot of trouble for this.
The Eye, well, her father, was livid when I brought her the resonance. Couldn't Isla get in trouble for sneaking out?
I know. Oh, she's never But yes, she could absolutely get in trouble for this. We should make it a quick trip.
Got it.
Yeah, the scavenger hunt.
What parts does Isla want me to collect?
There'll be 3 what's-its, 4 who's-its, and maybe a thingy or 2?
Nice.
For a guy delivering secret messages, you're not really a detailed note-taker, are you?
I glazed over when she started listing the parts, and, well, we decided her sneaking out to guide you on your scry was the best course of action. Besides, even if we knew what the parts were called, there's a lot of junk down in the Archon's hearth. It wouldn't be easy to spot on your own.
Hey, sounds like I better get to work.
I appreciate you being the middleman, Eric. Sounds like I'd better get to the Archon's hearth.
Enjoy the trip. I hear it's toasty when you get deeper in. It is
Yeah.
basically a giant forge
Fair
for
enough.
arcs, after all.
Ecosystem is important. Let's talk about Sev with Solar. New thing here. Produces the kinetic sword and shield. Oh. Yeah, well. Okay, a nameless host, Riscard. Okay, because currently, what am I? That one. What's that one again? Well, that's this one. Windskull bracers. So this is flat out a magic weight with smack stamina maybe. This could actually be a bit useful. Let's see. And that one as well. I haven't had new leg armor, I think, in a while now. This is the one I'm using, the trapper one, weight reduction. Yeah. So if this gives me more max stamina, I should make that. Actually. Oh yeah. Cool. None of them is heat, right? Where I'm one of the places that I'm going now. Maybe then I will just focus on the armor, and then yeah, let's not mess with the heat. There's a lot of cold resistance actually. I'll do a bit of both here, a bit flexible, and then quite a lot for that, and then I previously had weight reduction on it, so this will compensate a little bit for that. And for this, these pants are weighing nothing in the end, I think. They look very dark and ugly, just like no colors. I think it probably is more that it doesn't match with the rest. Can I make some other decision? Oh, that's that one. Oh, that's the bottom. Okay. Okay, I think this is what we're stuck with. Shit. Oh well then. A quick bit. Okay, question of loyalty.
You wanted to talk?
Mm-hmm. Can you walk with me?
Why all the mystery, Milady Smith?
In a word, I'm worried.
About?
Sev. He's been acting strangely. Has been since we met the Hearthsiders at the Hold. He's going there a lot in off hours, and he honestly looks a little exhausted. Dom, of course, stays up later than us and says he's often slipping away.
Have you asked Sev what's wrong?
I have, and he waves it off every time.
Right. What do we do about it?
Sev has completely cut me off. But you know how I tease Lane for watching us all the time?
She's gonna be. They're gonna be useful now, eh?
I hate this cloak and dagger stuff.
You do?
Ew.
You seem pretty good at it.
Talk to Lane for me. I'm sure they've seen what Sev is doing, but maybe they also have a guess at why he's acting so odd. Okay, let's go back before anyone gets nosy. And if Sev asks, blood moon cycle. Not sure if Ram blush, but he sure does.
Got it.
Right. Gotcha. Lean. Oh, we got another one of these. Consider Castellan's hold. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's go have a look. Formerly acting as the Enclave's northernmost military outpost, Castellan's hold now hosts the remnants of the population and the government. At first, one might not suspect this windswept city will also be the last bastion of the Enclave, but with a quick analysis revealing easily defensible approaches and enough arable land to feed its small population, it is clear why it was chosen. At the heart of the hold is a chamber of era, a former legal library repurposed as the Enclave's seat of power. It is in this room that the Enclave's elected leaders hold office, and where we found ourselves being lectured by the aforementioned leaders after undoing their asylum project. Time shall tell whether forgiveness is on the cards for us. In the meantime, I do find myself wondering why they have left the ceiling open to the sky all these years. Okay, a question of loyalty.
We need to talk about Sev.
Wait, you know why I'm here?
I'm a keen observer, and you have no Pangel face. Also, Solar has many strengths, but subtlety is not one of them. Sev, however, is somewhat more adept at hiding things. He's been moving back and forth between here and the hold quite regularly. Let me ask you something. Did you notice anything odd when you were at the hold?
There was a moment when Sev approached the Eye to speak alone.
Ah. That confirms my suspicion, then. Have you noticed that Sev and the Eye wear a similar symbol?
I have not.
I had not.
The symbol looks to be a stylized... well, I'm not sure, but I think it's something akin to a water wheel. I don't recognize it myself, but given the Eye is wearing it, the Enclave might have some record of that particular symbol.
The archives in the Spire might have something, though I'd rather just ask Sev.
Given his secrecy about this whole affair, I can't imagine he will be forthcoming.
Sola has tried asking,
Good
right?
point.
Okay.
And yet...
And he would trust Sola more
Either way,
than me at this
time
point.
for a little investigation.
Okay.
Hey, big guy. Everything
Oh,
okay?
need of assistance. Okay.
Yes, mostly. I
What? Now he wants help where I'm going out as well.
At a moment sometime. I might need your help.
Seems a couple of times this episode I'm just like banging things and it's affecting you. I'm sorry about that. He's feeling awkward. Lighten the mood. Whatever he needs, I'm sure I can always tell him so. He's nervous, reassure him.
You know you can count on me, Sev. I'll come see you when I have a moment.
Thank you, Bryn. I'll be at my usual place.
Let's go. Talk.
You know, I've been curious about something.
Oh, I know this one. A soft cloth and some ergon seed oil.
Eh?
I'm sorry, what?
You, weren't asking about tusk care? Everyone eventually asks.
Spirits, no. But that's intriguing. I was wondering about that symbol you wear.
Oh, no.
With the wheel?
Oh, that. That's just a family heirloom of sorts. Thought it looked nice, is all.
Just thought it looked nice.
I'm so sorry, Bryn. Just remembered, I have to move some things for Aurea. Maybe another time.
Bring the prior checks out anyway, you know. I'm need of assistance.
You said you needed some help, Sev?
Bryn's such a cool character,
What's up?
actually. I really like him.
Have I ever told
You
you?
can even like throw in some sort of like
How so?
personalization into her.
Maybe I'm just romanticizing it, but you seem like someone who's always known what you wanted to do. To be.
I was born in the tail years of a liberation war, Sev. It never made sense to me that I couldn't be anything I wanted. So I just decided.
I wish making decisions came so simply to me. Perhaps you can give me pointers when the time comes. Anyway, I've been working on a side project to help the Hearthsiders.
Okay.
And I'm having
Some
trouble
revelations here.
sourcing some rarer components.
Stronger relation can't hurt. Agreed to help the survivors by proxy. Here's about the project. Need for details.
What are you working on?
I can't say much. But I can tell you it's a project authorized by the Eye himself.
That revelation would carry more weight if he weren't an ass.
I know he can be abrasive, but he's got a plan. Says he's been working on it for years.
Do the Axle or Spindle know about this plan?
I'm honestly not sure. I don't think they have details, no.
But you do.
He's sworn me to secrecy. But I promise you, Bryn, it's nothing against us.
You're sure?
I know I come off as a pushover. But I know when to hold my ground. And would never harm this group, Bryn, I swear on my tusks.
Do you? It seems odd the outsiders need our help. Ask why they can't supply him. They can supply
If
him.
the Hearthsiders are asking for your help, can't they provide what you need?
Things are much better since you helped the Axle. It's true. But the supplies
so this would also come after the Axle. Okay.
of war. Equipment, raw metals and such.
I understand. You need something fancy.
I'm sure before the Surge they would have had rare materials in reserve. But those days are over. So I have to ask for your help.
Stronger relations can't hurt. Agree to help the survivors by proxy. Yeah. I think that one. Reluctant, but I can do it for him. Tell him so. Okay. So this is okay. I think it's more. Do we go more doing it for Seb, or do we do more doing it for the people? I don't know. Since Seb is so nervous, I'm gonna say all this. Yeah, for him. Yeah, for sure.
I'm game, but I want you to know I have reservations. The Eye hasn't exactly been helpful to us.
I completely understand. I'm probably crossing some lines, but I'm glad you're hearing me out. I've put together a schematic and I'll leave it with Solar. The majority of the asks are reasonably mundane. It's just...
Oh no.
Well, I need some particular secretions from a glass tail.
Why is it never onions? You know, small, green, distinct lack of talons. Never flash freeze you into an icy prison. Though, I suppose both can make you cry. I'm kidding, Sev. I'll see what I can do.
Alright then. That's a real force conduit. Interesting. Okay, I think that's a lot of talking done, and now we're gonna go straight into action in the next episode. Anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching this. It's very story heavy, but now I think we're gonna go jumpy with the kinetic sword and stuff again, and it'll be lots of fun stuff. So many things to do now. Act 4 probably is bigger than I expected it to be. But I don't know what we'll do first, but definitely drowning is seems quite important. And then if I see the glass tail anywhere, you know, like I'll deal with that as it comes up. And yeah. So you know, this is a okay, that came as a main quest. I see, interesting. Okay, cool. So yeah. Hope you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and who's your favorite character? You know, like everyone. I feel like everyone is like starting to flirt with us a little bit. Even Lane now. Before we had some good moments with Kasmin. I did it this time.
I can't decide between a love story about a studious ram and an Auburn warrior that couldn't be more opposite, or a treatise on Tazan governance prior to the Surge.
Those do seem like very different options.
Yeah, well, normally we'd have passed through somewhere with a proper bookshop by now, but we're running low on options inside the Veil.
Well, at least he's taking some time to read. So yeah, so we're going to Kasmin Lane, and obviously Arik I'll give you some hints, but he seems more friendly kind of vibes right now, so you know, nothing there yet. But the others, I mean, yes, again, like and subscribe, comment, blah, 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 and okay, bye.